Hello, everybody. Joseph P. Farrell, news and views from the Nefarium for Friday, October 14th, 2011. This has been a week. Um, First, an announcement. My co author and I, Dr. Scott DeHart, and I are one chapter away from finishing the book that he and I are writing now. And that will go off to the publisher. As soon as it does, I will let everybody know. As soon as the publisher has it actually at a printer, I will let everybody know what it's about. It's a very, very controversial book, you know, in almost every way you can think of. And it won't be out until next year, 2012, and that again by deliberate design. So anyway, that's the brief announcement. We do have a members only vid chat tonight for GizaDeathStar.com members, and it has been a week. Mitt Romney has been accused by Pastor Jeffers of not being a good historic Bible believing Christian because Governor Romney is a Mormon. And I've blogged about that in this coming week. Because, as most of you know, I have no love lost for dummy crooks or Republic thugs. I certainly have a lot of huge, strong disagreements with Governor Romney, with his so-called health care, with his basically neocon foreign policy. But I thought that Pastor Jeffers, especially a Baptist pastor making the claim to be representing historic Christianity, which in itself is an absurdity. The Baptist religion doesn't even get started until the final periods of the Protestant Reformation, which means circa 1500, folks. So it's hardly historical. It's a latecomer on the scene. But anyway, I thought that Governor Romney's response was tactful, it was courteous, it was measured, and it was gentlemanly. And he needs to be applauded for the way that he handled basically an attack of nothing but bigotry, wrapping itself in the Bible and wrapping itself in claims to historic Christianity, which I'm sure that the Pope would have some problems with Pastor Jeffers' claims, needless to say. The Patriarch of Constantinople, the Archbishop of Canterbury, the Patriarch of Moscow, just about everybody you can think of. So, uh, I've blogged about that and this whole American civil religion stuff in a couple of blogs in the coming week. So look for those. It's really a big topic, and my co-author and I are planning to do some ebooks, hopefully, on that topic. So anyway, he's feeling kind of down today. Keep him in your prayers. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the Iranian plot. Okay? Because I don't know about you, but I think pretty much this thing is laughable. All right? Because we're being asked to believe that basically a pothead, a used car salesman, and a drunk is entering into a compact, a conspiracy, a cabal with non-Muslim Mexican drug cartel lords to bring about the assassination of the Saudi ambassador and possibly the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. Now, folks, I've posted a tidbit just this afternoon before I started recording this news and views from the Nefarium on Facebook, on my website, linked to an article by a gentleman, let's see here, by the name of Justin Raimondo, or perhaps it would be pronounced Justin Raimondo. But in any case, he points out several interesting things that Gary Sick, who of course used to be in the Carter administration as one of President Carter's national security advisors, points out the very obvious fact that the Islamic Republic of Iran is hardly going to be cooking up any conspiracy with Mexican drug cartels, simply for the reason, number one, they're not Muslim, and number two, the Iranian intelligence services know that those cartels are the targets for penetration by the American Drug Enforcement Agency, the FBI, and so on. The other thing he points out is that this whole plot is completely outside of the modus operandi, the method of operation of Iranian intelligence in the past, and that's quite true. The other thing is that it is a kind of a ridiculous story. It has all of the hallmarks, I think, of that mysterious and fourth, if you count all the versions of Osama bin Laden's death. It has all the hallmarks of being, and the government's admitted it. This was a plot that they largely hatched up to convince us that, see, we hashed this plot up and we're exposing it, and see, you're safe. Um, it really boggles the imagination. And I've posted a blog in the coming week that references a study, a policy study that was done 2 years ago about what are we going to do about Iran. And I think that we're seeing the game plan emerge. They're ramping up as much pressure to build up public support somehow, I think, in my opinion, for some sort of action against Iran. I suspect that simply due to the fact that this story is collapsing almost as quickly as it's being released to the media, I suspect that they will attempt to use the cat's paw, the proxy, namely Israel, to take any direct action against Iran, which I think would be a bad thing. But again, the plot itself makes no sense. As this article points out, and I'm reading it from the link on my website, quote, the sheer implausibility of the position taken by both the U.S. Justice Department and the State Department that the Iranian government was behind the plot necessitates a more subtle spin, such as the view taken by Meir Javandafar of the Israel-based Middle East Economic and Political Analysis Company. Javandafar speculates that the whole thing was a setup of the Supreme Ayatollah Khamenei by a dissident faction within the Iranian national security apparatus. This assumes, of course, that the patently ridiculous official story is true and even heightens its impact. For if there is a rogue element at work within the Iranian ruling class, then the danger is even more extreme. After all, here are presumed radicals who wouldn't hesitate to bring destruction in the form of U.S. bombs falling on Tehran, on their own country, and certainly wouldn't hesitate to inflict the same and worse on American soil. This view is, however, fatally flawed in that it assumes the veracity of the Justice Department's narrative, which, as we have seen, is a fiction that fails and fails badly in the realm of character development. It is just not credible that the goofy Arbabasir may have sustained brain damage as the result of a brutal beating he received in his student years was the mastermind behind a plot that might have proved to be a 21st century Sarajevo. And of course, the reference there to the event that started off World War I, the assassination of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir apparent to the Austrian throne. So, yeah, I tend to agree with this individual that this thing doesn't smell right. So, come on, folks. Pardon me. If you're going to do this stuff, cook something up a little better. What's amazing to me, pardon me, is that these plots get worse and worse, and all semblance of rationality in them. I mean, the elites used to be able to pull off some whopper good plots. Now they're so transparent they fall apart within mere days, mere hours of the release of the story. So we'll see where this goes. I hope to see all of you in the members vid chat tonight at gizadeathstar.com. And if there's any other news, like always, I will butt in with another news and views from the Nefarium. But other than that, I'm planning to spend the weekend finishing up the remaining chapter that I have to write in this book and getting it ready for the final edit. So anyway, that's it, everybody. See you on the flip side. God bless.